Howard, Glenn, and Mike back here on BTN Live. The head coach of the Wolverines, Brady Hoke, joins us now on the April Air Hotline. Brady, how satisfied are you with these first 5 games of the season?
Well, you know, we're very happy that we're undefeated, obviously, being 5-0. We've got a lot of work to do, though. Mike, you know, we got some young players, and then we've got some things when you look at, you know, turning the ball over, some of the discipline with penalties. We've got to improve there. And this past weekend, we didn't have a turnover, and that's the first time in, I think, 25 or 26 games that we haven't turned the ball over, and we had 2 penalties. So hopefully we've learned some things about ourselves as a team, our fundamentals that we want to play with. We still have to keep striving to be better.
Brady, at the risk of sounding like a fan, it seemed like at the start of the Minnesota game on offense, your approach was kind of conservative. Was that true, and why?
Well, yeah, and we wanted, Coach, we wanted to establish the run game, and we wanted to get our offensive linemen going, have them have an opportunity to do what they love to do, which is run block.
Coach, I want to talk a little bit about both sides of the line, but if you could start with the offensive side, you made some switches over there. Do you feel like you now have your best 5 guys on the offensive line? And then switching gears, I want you to talk a little bit about the defense, particularly the defensive tackles. I know guys that you really do a good job of coaching and getting them ready to go as well.
Yeah, well, Howard, you know, I think offensively, Graham Glasgow moving into center and Chris Bryant. And Chris is a guy that has been coming on for us, and then all of a sudden something bad happens. You know, he's had a couple injuries, a shoulder a little bit, and then he had the knee surgery a year and a half ago. But he really has come on. Graham at the center, we thought did a nice job, number one, all the snaps, did a nice job on taking care of the A-gaps in there for us. So I think we've got the 5 guys that we want to go with. Obviously, we've got great competition. Jack Miller's still competing. Joey Brzezinski and Kyle Bosch, you know, another freshman that we think at the guard positions are doing a good job. Up front defensively, I thought Jabril Black played his best football game this week, gave us a lot of effort, did a nice job kick-starting us a little bit offensively when he knocked the ball out of Mitch Leitner's hand to give us a short field. I think Quentin Washington really had his best game at this point. And then we lost Andre Pipkins in the game. He's got an ACL. But Willie Henry, Ryan Glasgow, some of those guys are starting to make some strides as young football players.
Brady, what aspect, 5 games into this season, are you happiest with your team, and which aspect do you still most want to see improvement
on? That's a great question,
Thank you.
Mike. I think most of all, you know, I like how they've come to work as a team every day. I think their preparation and the leadership that our seniors are giving to a lot of young guys, I think they're understanding what we need to do. So I'm happy with that. I think we obviously always want to run the ball better, want to be able to take over the line of scrimmage better.
Devin Funches, your tight end, we've seen him make some big-time catches. He had another one against Minnesota. Describe his abilities and what he means to your offense.
Well, obviously, Coach, you know, we moved him a little bit wider in the perimeter, and I think, as you would know, you create some mismatches when you've got a guy who's 6'6" and 235, 40 pounds, who runs well. He's got great length, very skilled athlete, was a tremendous basketball player in high school, and so I think moving him out has given us a little bit of a chance to get him isolated, which in turn should help us a little bit with Jerry McGowan on the other side to give him some isolation.
Coach, you mentioned Green earlier, the talented running back that's coming in, and obviously Fitz is still playing at a high level. But can you talk to us the importance of having two running backs that can play at a high level for you to help that running game get going?
Well, yeah, you're right, Howard. I think Fitz has done a tremendous job all year, but at the same time, I think we have to do the job of getting Derek and keep developing Derek. I think, he's a big back. He's got very good vision. I thought he made two really nice cuts and then accelerated through the cuts the other day. His development keeps growing each day, and it gives us an opportunity to take a guy like Fitz and give him some time to rest up in between plays so that in the fourth quarter he can be a guy that's going to be able to play at 120%.
Last thing before we let you go, Brady. Which player in the team has the most personality? Which guy cracks you up the most?
It might be our left tackle. I think Taylor has a little bit of a personality that fits that big body of his.
Seems appropriate. He's got the confidence to go with it, too. Brady Hoke, congratulations on the undefeated start to the year. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And we touched a little bit on Devin Gardner, but here's another look at what he did the first 4 games of the year versus the game on Saturday. And the most important stat there is at the bottom right.
At the bottom, Mike.
Turnovers per game. He averaged 2.5 per game.
That's a lot.
And against the Gophers, he had an offer. When we come back, the power rankings. Who are these guys going to put as their 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 spots in the Big Ten?
Will be shocking.
Touchdown, Buckeyes. Well, Carlos Hyde has been a big difference in his second half for the Ohio State offense.
Mike Hall, Howard Griffith, and Glenn Mason back here on BTN Live. It's time for our ArcelorMittal Power Rankings. I'm pretty sure Carlos Hyde's team will be your number 1.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Well, we'll find out by
Don't you assume
building
like
the
that.
drama.
Don't ever assume anything.
Yeah, you
All
know
right.
what they say about that.
Absolutely.
What did they say? Let's finish
I
that.
probably shouldn't do that.
All right.
I like my job.
How about 5 to 1?
Number 5, for me, this could be shocking to a lot of people, but it's Northwestern. The Wildcats are coming in at number 5 for me this week. Although they had an outstanding game, I still have some questions about this team, and I think there are 4 teams that just may be a little bit better than them moving forward.
Well, once again, we agree to disagree.
Really?
I've got Michigan State. I've said all along their defense is spectacular. Number 1, it's a cut above. They finally got the offensive going. Connor Cook, I think, is going to be the quarterback. I've got him number 5.
If you've got defense wins championships, would you agree?
Yeah, but you need the offense to go with it. And just one little slight glimpse of an offense doesn't have me convinced. Number 5.
That's a number 5 team. Okay, I agree. Couldn't change your mind there. How about Wisconsin in at number 4 for me? I still think this is a big-time team. They've had a couple stumbles, but I think they're going to bounce back because I think their schedule really lines up well. The way they play offense, downhill, they'll get that going again this weekend.
I should have started out by saying, if anybody thinks this is easy this year in the Big Ten,
Picking the top
you people
5.
at home, you ought to try this before you start being critical because it's tough and you go back and forth. But I agree with Wisconsin.
Okay.
And they've lost 2 football games. It's hard to put them in the top 5 with 2 losses. But, they played Ohio State, shoe to shoe. They got robbed against Arizona State. I still say they didn't necessarily lose the game. I love the way they run the football. No one is playing defense with more passion. They might be playing better, but with more passion than those guys at Wisconsin. And Stavi's throwing the ball.
I like what you said about defense and passion because that's my number 3 team. Michigan State, talking about a team defensively, I think some people might think they're a little high, but I really love this team, love the defense that they're playing. The offense will develop. It started to make some strides forward this last weekend. Now they have to put 2 games together again. But defensively, this team will be in it. That's why they're my number 3 team this week.
My number 3 team, and I really struggle with this, I have a hard time with it, is the University of Michigan. And I say that because they're undefeated. They really haven't played great yet. You know, I mean, Brady's saying all the right things, but they should be good defense, and maybe they've got Devin Gardner turning the corner and not turning the ball over. Michigan.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for me, and that's why I have Michigan at number 2. I think they are starting to turn the corner from an offensive standpoint. If Gardner can protect the footballers, which is going to be key, and I understand that the challenges, and they barely won some games, and yada, yada, yada. But I still think this is an outstanding – did you like that? Yada, yada, yada. That was good analysis.
Where did that come from?
They're my number 2 team this week.
Who's number 2?
Michigan.
He just said.
Are you not
I don't
listening
know
to
if
me?
yada, yada, yada was or Michigan. I thought that was maybe another team. My number 2 team is the Northwestern Wildcats. I've always loved their offense. I saw a different defense, which we've already talked about there, and they're playing on the big stage. I thought they really handled it well. And I believe that if they hadn't bobbled that 4th and 1 on the sneak and got it, I think they would have won the football game. Plus, they had a block punt. I like Northwestern.
You should like them. I think they did a good job. I wish that they wouldn't have fumbled that one, and maybe they wouldn't have tumbled to number 5. But Ohio State.
I think I know who's number 1.
Who?
What I said at the beginning, it'd be Ohio State.
It is the Ohio State Buckeyes.
That's what I thought.
I got to go with Ohio State, too. I mean, you look at them, they're rolling, and now Carlos Hyde is back. Braxton Miller didn't play great. They're the number 1 team.
I did assume, Howard.
You assumed correctly.
And I came out right. The power ranking.
Yada, yada, yada.